Plus, as 2019 draws to a close, some last-minute tips to get the most out of your tax return. And I'm Choi Lin. That's raising questions for folks visiting here who will soon be hitting the highways or catching flights out of the Black Hills. How much are we expecting here in Rapid City? We'll hear from meteorologist David Stradling in a moment.
But first, check out this video. The storm dumping several inches of snow on Southern California, creating postcard-like views but trouble on California roads. The snow beginning on Christmas Day. The 5 freeway through Grapevine was still closed this morning. Many drivers spent the night in their cars near an entrance to the freeway.
And winter weather brought traffic to a crawl near Primm, Nevada Thursday. Snow prompted the closing of southbound lanes from Primm to Baker, California. Both directions of I-15 were temporarily closed at the Cajon Pass in Southern California.
Meanwhile, here in the hills, plenty of sunshine and warmth the past couple of days.
But with that winter storm moving in this direction, the big question is who's getting hit and who isn't. For that, we check in with meteorologist David Stradling. David? A nearly 200-mile horseback ride through the Badlands in the middle of winter to remember the 1890 Wounded Knee Massacre. Our Anderly Penwell caught up with the riders on their 14th day and learns why this memorial ride is so important. A new grant extends funding for the preservation of indigenous languages, including Lakota. President Donald Trump signed a new law that extends federal grant programs that are aimed at preserving indigenous languages. This new measure will also allow more tribes to participate in these types of conservation programs. The new law is named after Esther Martinez, a storyteller and language advocate from a New Mexico pueblo. In South Dakota, these grants will be used for promoting native languages and will help solidify cultural identity.
It's our time to return back to who we are, and if they give us the opportunity and make funding available, then that has to repair 6 generations of the language, the values, the beliefs, and reintegrate who we are to give us a sense of where we belong, which we belong here in the beginning.
Currently, many different tribes and associations across the U.S. are sharing more than $11 million for language preservation and immersion programs that are funded by grants. Still ahead tonight on Black Hills Fox News at 9. In a sweeping move, the federal government has banned the sale of tobacco products for people under the age of 21.
What do folks here in South Dakota think of the new guidelines? We'll find out after the break, right here on Black Hills Fox News at 9.
As 2019 comes to a close, you'll likely be hearing people say, "A new year, a new me." To help get people motivated, the Parks and Recreation Department has a special offer. In recent years, the city has opened community gyms to the public, and this year the West Community Gym will be open from noon to 4 p.m. on December 30th, 31st, January 2nd, and 3rd, only charging $2 per person per session. The community gym offers people the chance to play basketball as well as get in some slower paced cardio exercises in an environment that they may not feel as intimidated as a typical gym.
Their New Year's resolution is to get more into an exercise routine. This is a good way to do it kind of by themselves or maybe with a friend, kind of, do some calisthenics, kind of do some light exercise work, shooting hoops or whatever it happens to be, and then maybe that works into a more routine program for them as the new year unfolds.
The West Community Center is located right next to West Middle School and also offers year-round activities.
Coming up, board game enthusiasts strike gold.
We'll check out a fun new strategy game that involves around the historic mining town of Deadwood. That's after the break. David? So David, I have some chores I have to run tomorrow, so I'm concerned what the weather will be like for tomorrow.
It's not looking as bad as it was before. The latest updates, now that the storm's getting closer, getting a better sample of it, has actually shifted the track a little east, which means a little less snow for us in the west.
How about how windy is it going to be?
The wind still looking pretty strong. We're still expecting gusts 40, maybe 50 miles per hour, but
Coming up, life is returning to normal for a man struggling with cystic fibrosis. A new drug is bringing home a Nebraska man living with cystic fibrosis. He says the relief from the pain feels like a miracle. Nick Amantagello has the details in tonight's Your Health. And we'll be right back with your travel weather after the break. Thank you, David. The roaring 20s, that's what 1 out of every 10 Americans thinks the next decade should be called. And the national average for regular unleaded gas is going up. Fox Business Network's Connell McShane has the details on these stories and more in tonight's Fox Means Business Report. On average, 16 U.S. service veterans die by suicide each and every day. That's according to the VA, who reported 6,000 suicides each year from 2008 to 2017. To bring those numbers down, people and organizations across the nation are addressing post-traumatic stress disorder. In tonight's Fox Files, Winnie Wright spent time with a veteran who found a way to deal with his PTSD that's changing his life for the better. Coming up after the break, a pair of upperclassmen have the Wall girls basketball team off to a 3-0 start this season. And the Rapid City Rush were back on home ice looking to snap a 6-game losing skid tonight. Those stories and more when we come back with Black Hills Fox Sports.
And fun to see the Rush back on the winning side of things.
They needed that one badly. Great to see that. Yeah.
They really did. Final weather when we come back.
And the ability to dominate the box office is insignificant next to the power of the Force. David Daniel has the scoop in tonight's Hollywood Minute.
You wonder about those famous families, if they celebrate like everybody else. Apparently they do, and they have practical jokes as well.
Exactly. They're human beings just like us.
Good stuff. Be safe this weekend. Have a good night.